Hi, I'm Satyam and this is the 8th video in our Typescript series. Now in this video we are going to see how we can use object types with functions. So let's get started. So first of all let me tell you that this section is not some comprehensive guide on objects and classes. Objects and classes are basically very big concepts and they deserve their own videos. So in this section what we are doing is we are just understanding how to use object types with functions as inputs or outputs. So let's just start by understanding what is an object. So an object is basically a way for us to model or represent a real world entity or a thing. So suppose that there is a car that we want to model in our software, right? So we can do that with the help of objects. Now when we say model or when we say representation, we don't mean like a physical representation. What we mean is informational representation or information model. So everything in existence has some kind of information with it, right? For example, let's just take an example of a car. Okay, so a car has information on color. Okay, what kind of color or what color basically it has. A car has information on engine, what kind of engine it has. Car has information on tires, what type of tires it has, what company tires it has. Car has information on steering wheel, brake pads, accelerator, seat covers, materials for like metal materials, right? So suppose that you want to model a car in a software program. What you do is you basically take the information and put it in the software. Okay, that's what you basically do to model the car. So we can just create an object. Okay, object is the way to model a car. So we can create an object, and in that object we can tell that okay, the car has this color, the car has this engine, the car has this seat covers, the car has this kind of material. Okay, like the car is built on aluminum, titanium, whatever it is built on. And that's how we basically model a real world entity into a software program. Okay, it's just information, and then there are actions performed by that entity. For example, the car can drive, right? So that action is what? Action is basically a function, right? And a function is basically inside of an object is called method. That's it. Method is just another name for function to make sure that people understand that this particular function belongs to a object. Okay, that's all it is. So these functions or these methods basically denote or basically represent what the particular entity can do. So a car can drive, so our object can also have a drive function. Okay, so that drive function can do anything. You can just console log something, or you can actually use multiple SDKs, many different interfaces to actually deal with some real car from the real world, and give instruction to that car to drive. Okay, that you can do with the help of these objects. So that's how you basically model a real world entity into a software program. Okay, you just model the information and the actions that it can perform. That's all. So let's get into the computer screen and see how do we actually create an object. So I already have this documents folder, and here I have Typescript YouTube folder. Now in this folder I'm just gonna create a new folder called object types. Object types in function. Okay, like that's what the video is. Now we can actually go ahead and drag and drop this folder into our Visual Studio Code. Okay, so in the Visual Studio Code we are going to write all our code. So here we can start writing TypeScript code. So an object is basically the information regarding a particular entity in the real world. That's all it is. Okay, it's a way to model or represent a particular entity. So let's just say we want to represent a car. Okay, so I'm just gonna start by creating a car. Let car is equals to, and then I can actually start by creating an object. Now the way you create an object is using curly braces in TypeScript or JavaScript both. Okay, you open the curly braces, and now an object is just a key pair value, right? So you can actually start by writing color. Okay, so let's just say color of the car is equals to, I don't know, red. And here we are getting an error because we are not supposed to use equal to sign, we are supposed to use colon. Okay, so basically what we are saying is that we have a car object here, and let me just make it a little bigger. So we are having a car object, and then in that car object the color of that car is red. Okay, then we can say that the engine is like I don't know, V8. Okay, then we can say seat, or let's just say tires will be I don't know, like MRF, like it's a company, I don't know. I think MRF tires, okay. Then I don't know, like the next thing should be I don't know, horsepower, right? Horsepower, like just give it some outrageous horsepower, like 1000 horsepower, okay, like that's something good. And let's just say next thing would be what else does a car have? uh, Engine is done, tires are done, colors, like company, yeah, what company car it is, right? So company is just, like just say, I don't know, BMW. Okay, so we have these five properties or these five pieces of information about that car. Of course a car have a ton of information, okay, there's a ton of things inside a car. The company of the spark plug, the company of the seat covers, right? Many of the things are there, but we are just taking what we need. Okay, we are not going to model everything into our software, we are just going to model what we really need into our software program. So we right now need these five properties. Okay, so we have these five things into our object. So basically we have a car object, and the car object have these five properties or these five pieces of information. Okay, so now we have stored the information. Now the next thing is to see how we can actually put the actions of that particular entity into our object. So a car can drive, right? So like just say I create a property called drive, and that property is a function. Okay, function, and I can write it like this, and then I can just, like just say console log. Okay, console.log car is driving. Okay, now I'm just writing this console log here. Okay, but like just say if you are working in some car industry or car, basically car company, okay, you will actually have many SDKs, you will have many tools to interact with a real world car existing in the physical world with the help of your code. So you can actually, go ahead and start by calling the SDKs here. Okay, then you can actually get the status of car, right? If it is on or not, you can on the car, turn on the car. Okay, then you can actually, write the code for driving it. So by using those SDKs, you can actually create a drive function here that will actually drive some car in the real world. In the same way, you can actually, do more things with the car, right? So you can, I don't know, turn on, I don't know, wipers. Okay, so you can actually create another function for this, and in this function, like just say, I don't know, yeah, console log. That's all we can do right now. Console log wipers are on. Okay, so you can do many things, right? So this is how you basically create an object inside a TypeScript or JavaScript. You basically take a variable named car. You actually start by inputting properties or methods. Okay, there is no order in which you actually put these things. You can put them in any order. Okay, like properties, methods, or methods, properties, or any order. So basically, it is just a collection of data, properties, and the actions performed by that particular entity or thing. Right? That's all it is. And if I actually hover over this car variable, you will see that we have this thing. Okay, so the type of the car variable is this. Okay, the type of the car variable is actually an object. So the object will contain these fields, okay, or these properties: color, engine, tires, horsepower, company, drive, function, and turn on wiper. Okay, so the color will be of type string, the engine will be of type string, the tires will be type string, horsepower type number, and company name type string. There will be a function called drive, and that will return nothing. That is, it will return void. The similar case is for turn on wipers also. So basically, what you can see here is the type of the car variable. Okay, and this is basically an object. Okay, because we have values associated with the properties. So color actually have a value of red, that's why we are calling it an object. Okay, we have values associated. But if you just hover over the car, what you see is the type of the car. Okay, the color, the engine. Okay, basically the car is an object type, and it will have these particular fields or properties and methods or functions. Okay, so that's what it is. So basically, let me just copy this thing. Okay, if I just copy it, okay, And what I can do is I can just paste say it like this. Okay, I can say that I want to create a car variable, okay, which will be of type object, okay, and that object will have these particular fields or information, okay, and then this particular actions or functions or methods. Okay, so that's what we are doing. This is the type of the object and this is the actual object. Okay, so now that we have our car object, how do I access this color red, right? How do I access this engine? How do I access this tire? Okay, so what I can do is I can use the dot notation. Okay, so suppose that I want to access the color property or the color information, so I can say car dot color. Okay, and that's it. We are able to access the color. Basically, you put the dot after the car variable and then type the name of the property or function that you want to use. So if I just console log it here, um, console dot log, okay, then it will give me a result like red. Okay, red is what it will give me. We are going to run this thing in a short bit, but right now I'm just gonna explain things to you like this. So yeah, we are able to console log our color. Okay, then in the similar way we can actually console log engine also. So console dot log car dot engine. Okay, we get the information for engine, and the output for this will also be like v8. In the similar way we can also access this drive function. Okay, so I'm just gonna access it like this, um, car dot drive. Okay, and since drive is actually a function, okay, it's a function, it's not just a property, we need to put parentheses here. Okay, because the function will be called, that's why we are putting parentheses here. Okay, in a similar way we can actually call the another function also. So turn on wiper, and this is how we are actually accessing the members or the things inside this object. And now let me just actually run this thing. I'll just save it and I'll open the terminal here, new terminal. I'll compile it into JavaScript ts. Now we have a JavaScript file, and now I can actually go ahead and run this JavaScript file, node index.js. Okay, as you can see here that our first output is red, our second output is v8, then our third output is car is driving from the function, right? And the fourth output are is wipers are on. So our output is correct, our code is working fine. Now let us move on and see how we can actually pass this car variable or car object into a function, because that's the main gist of this video. You want to pass these object types, okay, these object types into a function. Sorry, yeah, this is the Typescript. You want to pass this object type into a function. Okay, how do we do that, right? Like just create a new function here, or in the starting. Let's just create it in the starting. Okay, you don't have to create it in the starting if you don't want to. I'm just doing it for the sake of simplicity and easiness. So let's just say function is I don't know, my function, like I'm very bad at naming functions. So my function, and it will take some input. It will, I don't know, console dot log. Okay, it will console log something. Okay, so I just want to take this um, car object as an input. Basically, I want to take an object of type this. Okay, any object that have these properties and these functions, I want to accept them as input. So what I can do is I can write it like this. Okay, I can say my car object. This is the input name, my car object, and the type of this input will be this. Okay, I'll just copy it from here, paste it here. You can actually go ahead and paste it in the single line also, but I usually don't do it for readability purpose. So my car object, this parameter actually have these many properties. Okay, it's an object type. And here I'm just gonna try to console of my car object. Okay, and it's kind of working, I guess. I'll just try to run it again. I will actually have to, like compile it again because we changed the code. Then I just run it. Okay, and Oh, sorry, we did not call this function anywhere, of course. Of course, my function, this function needs to be called somewhere. Let me just collapse all these things. They are taking extra space on the screen. So I'm just gonna call it here, okay? My function, and I'm gonna pass car as input, okay? Car is the object that we created earlier, right? This is the car. Now, if I just, like again compile and again run. So now you can see that our complete car object is actually console logged into our terminal. And that's how we actually accept the object type inputs in our functions. So basically what it means is that I can actually create another, I don't know, another object, okay? Let's just say car 2, okay? Car 2 of the same type, car 2. And this will have, I don't know, blue V8 engine, I don't know, V12. Okay, we just changed a few things. Okay, we can change it. And in the same way, I can actually call this function again with the new object. My function car, I don't know, 2. Okay, yeah. And I can actually, like run it again. And you can see that both of our objects are now printed. Car 1, or basically simple car, is here. And the car 2 with blue color and V12 engine is here. Now, of course, you can do a lot of things inside the function itself, okay? So we are just console logging the entire thing here right now. And yeah, I mean, you must be seeing these squiggly lines, my function, and these car, okay? And this also. And the reason for these squiggly lines or errors is because the JavaScript generated also have the same function and same variables with the same name that are actually conflicting with the extensions. Okay, that's why we are actually seeing these errors. But there is actually no error, okay, because the JavaScript file is something that we have compiled. It's not something that we are writing ourselves. Okay, so anyways, it is not part of the code. It is just going on the production, anyways. So now let us, try to use a few properties from our object. So my car object, I'm gonna console log everything. So console.log template string current car has a color of, I don't know, like sorry, yeah, current car has a color of my object, my car object dot color, okay, yeah, color. And yeah, there we go. Now we are able to access this particular information color or property color from the object, okay? So we can again, like try to run it, compile and run, and here you can see current car color, sorry, current car has a color of blue, right? And in the upper case, sorry, in the upper object, current car has a color of red, okay, because the same function is run twice here for two different objects. So that's how you basically pass object types into functions, okay? In the same way, you can also return object types, okay? So suppose that you want to return an object type, return object, okay? So you want to return very few properties, okay? So like just you want to just return color, and it will be like my object, my car object dot color, and the next will be engine, okay? You just want to return these two properties or these two pieces of information, okay? Engine will be my car object dot engine, okay? And yeah, so these two things will be returned back to you from the function. And now if I actually hover over it, you will see that we are not able to see what type it returns, okay? So if I just go down here, and I think I will not be able to see it there also. So my function, and yes, I can see a void as the return type, and it is definitely wrong because we are returning an object with specific type. And also you can see here that we have any as my car object, okay? Any is the type of my car object, which is also wrong because we are clearly writing that the type of our my car object is this, okay? So it's not like something is wrong with the code, it's just that the extensions are not working properly, I would say. So our code is just fine, our code is correct, okay, but the extensions are not working fine. So that's on a technical level issue from the extension side. Tell the type here also, okay? You can tell the return type here, and return type will be color of type string and engine of type string, okay? So you can actually, like give your own return type here also for the function. So these are the inputs still here, and then after colon you are providing the return type from the function, and then after you are actually writing the function. And now there is one more thing that you need to know, and that is optional information. So suppose that tires is something that is an optional information. You might not know what the company of the tires is all the time. So what you can do here is you can use this question mark. Question mark means that this property may or may not exist in the function, okay? Which means I might not be able to access this property in the function later on, okay? It can or cannot exist in the function, like it's something optional. You may find it in the object or you may not, okay? So of course with these kind of properties you will have to put checks in place, okay? For example, if I try to console log this, okay, console.log my car object dot tires, okay. If I try to do that, then of course this is something that you need to be very careful about, okay, because it can actually give you undefined, okay. And yeah, I mean, if it is not present, then it will give you undefined. So you will have to actually place proper checks that if my car object dot tires is not equals undefined, okay, then only you run this particular piece of code, okay. So it becomes your responsibility as a programmer to check for these kind of things for nullable properties, okay. And yeah, that's how nullable properties just work. You just have to check for it, but they also give you flexibility that you may or may not actually give them. So till now we have seen what is an object, how to use an object, how to create an object, how to get the values from the object, how to get or call the functions present in the object, how to pass the object as an object type into a function, how to get an object as a return value from the function, how to deal with nullable properties in the object. So we have seen quite a lot of stuff, right? And you might need to actually watch the video again to understand a few things. So feel free to do that. So that's what we wanted to talk about in this section. In the next section, we are going to see what are union types in TypeScript. Till then, bye.